Just going to do a little brief economic update here. It's bad, man. Gas prices going back up, gone up for 5 straight weeks. National average is up 33 cents from the last month, 14 cents from a year ago. And this is at a time, which we're going to go over in a second, this is at a time when everything else is getting more expensive too. And this is part of the reason I understand why people want to go back, because this is what people are experiencing, normal people. I would argue many of my maybe wealthier friends in the media business don't spend enough time with normal people. Again, I'm not judging, but normal people are watching not just gas, energy, their power bill. I hear more complaints in my circles about the power bill. Did you see the power bill? Oh my gosh, we need to go shopping for a new power company. What about the power bill? The power, gas, power, eggs. Eggs are one of those things. I was taught by my folks when I was very, very, very young. We didn't have a lot of money. That eggs were just one of those incredible foods. Why? They're incredibly good for you. They're easily available. And they're very, very cheap. You can consume eggs, a very nutritious meal, for not very much money. Or, you know what, I take that back. You could. Because now, eggs are up a lot. In some cases, some places in the country, egg prices have doubled. A staple on the American table for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on occasion, if you're doing breakfast for dinner, double. Okay, so we got gas, we got power, we got things like eggs. What you're seeing when we talk about these separate things is somebody's standard of living, many, many millions of Americans, their standard of living going down. And maybe you're not experiencing that right now. And if you're not, that's fine, good. Good. I'm glad you're not. But always keep some perspective for the people who are. I have been out of work. I know what it's like to watch bills pile up. I know what it's like to have to sit down with the wife and, hey, I think we should probably cancel this. I had to sell my car at one point in time, trade it in on some old used car. I know what it's like to sit down with the budget and look at the bank accounts and know that you're not going to make it unless you make changes. Keep in mind, we now know 166 million Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and here's what's staggering. 8 million of those people make over $100,000 a year. And I need to clarify something else here. Maybe right now you're saying to yourself, well, that's crazy. If you can't make it on $100,000 a year, you suck, you're irresponsible. Let me just tell you a brief little story here before I go back into everything else. If you haven't moved around a lot, you may not fully grasp the difference in standard of living and what it costs in this area versus that area, because it is drastically different. When I was in Arizona, after I lost 2 congressional races, I wanted to stay in the political fight. I wanted to stay in the game. And I was offered a job at a DC political firm, $75,000 a year. Now, maybe that's not a lot of money to you, but my eyes about popped out of my head. $75,000 a year? Dang, we're loaded. And I remember moving the family, wife, 2 kids, back to DC. $75,000 a year. We're not expensive people, right? We don't have boats and jet skis and cocaine and all these other things. We're just very simple people. We weren't making it. Renting a home, we weren't making it. That's happening right now across the country. Across the country, especially in the more expensive areas, and many people are tied to these expensive areas, jobs, families, churches, schools, etc. They're not making it. Even $100,000 ain't cutting it. And what's really, really bad, it's not just that we're down, right? It's one thing to be down, all right? This would be up and this is down. It's one thing if we're down. What's bad is there's no indication we're going to start heading back up. I mean, you listen to Joe Biden, they're still out there saying, well, everything's great. Change, what?
I ran for president to build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. To bring back good paying jobs you can raise a family on, whether or not you went to college. To give working families a little more breathing room. To invest in ourselves again, to invest in America again. That's what we've done.
They're out there bragging. It's not just Joe Biden, it's the standards saying now for the Democratic Party. You would at least expect a little fake empathy, right? Hey guys, well, I know it's not going well, but we're going to turn it around. We're going to do something. They're out there. Chuck Schumer, man, the train ain't a stopping.
Now you can use whatever train metaphor you want, anyone you want, but get on the Joe Biden Express now because we are not stopping.
They have no intention of turning this around.
Support the First TV today and get instant access to exclusive specials like Who is Ron DeSantis, the history of FBI scandals, and America's worst presidents. Visit thefirsttv.com/support or download the First TV app to become a supporter and start watching today.